Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to Five Lemons Laughing. We're all here. Penny from California, Drusilla from Atlanta, Georgia, Amanda in New Mexico, and Morgan in Florida, and I am Melissa in the UK. So we're here together, wrapping up our Standing in Your Power series. So this has been a 4-part journey about living unapologetically in your truth. And we've tuned into the wisdom of our body. That was session 1. And then we went on to talk about what that feeling is when you feel not enough. And then we claimed the story we want to live. So now we arrive at, drumroll, we arrive at the becoming. So here's the truth. You don't need to be polished or finished or perfect to stand in your power. You just need to be alive. And we all are, right? And willing to live like we mean it. So the final episode is about stepping fully into your becoming, not waiting for someday, not when it's tidy or easy, but right now. Especially for some of us, not when we're perfect, not when this happens or that happens or this money in the bank or that outcome right now. Because power isn't about having it all figured out. It's about showing up unapologetically, fully alive, and wide open to life.
Beautiful. Thank you, Melissa. What a fun series you came up with. So as Melissa was saying, so much of life tries to convince us to wait. I don't even know if that's life. I think that's ego. But so much of the message we're receiving is that not quite yet, not quite yet. Wait until this, wait until that. And so today we're talking about the becoming, as Melissa said. What does that mean? This is the daily practice of choosing presence over perfection, choosing divinely guided action over stagnation. So let's talk about living like we mean it today, showing up in life, loving fully and moving forward, even if all the pieces don't seem like they're fully in place yet. So let's get into it. What does living like you mean it look like in your daily life right now? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
Definitely living in the present. Like, I do all I can to refocus myself whenever I get away from the present, to refocus back in the present, because in the present I can easily go to gratitude. That's the other grounding thing for me. And once I get into gratitude, I think my list would never end of everything I'm grateful for, everything that is amazing about my life. It shifts me. And then I can see the perfection is living out loud, like living the life you're given to your fullest capacity, not to check boxes, which I was in for a long time, but to I know I keep saying this, I don't want to be on my deathbed with regrets. And not for for the big things, right? Living the life I've been given.
I love that, Melissa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to their deathbed with regrets. For me, it's so feeding off of that, Melissa, I don't want to regret anything either. I'm so glad that you said that, because what living fully for me right now means showing up without fear. Because I have a new horse. His name is Carson. He's this big Frisian mix, and he is a powerful being, standing in power, just being around him. He's such a powerful creature that I fell off. I broke my arm, so I jumped on power and I fell off and I hurt myself. And so, that's just life. That's just life. And so now when I go, I have to show up without fear. have to is kind of strong. I am working on showing up and being in his presence without being fearful. So that's what my living my best life looks like right now. Showing up in a situation where I got hurt and not being afraid, and like taking those steps to harness that amazing amount of power that I have, that my horse has, and being able to fully be present and ride it.
Nice.
In all senses of the word, not just with my horse. Mm-hmm.
Not to be cliche, but that's powerful, Amanda.
So true.
Yeah.
And it's also a really good metaphor for life. I mean,
It is.
I guess that's where the saying comes from. Like if you fall, you get back up on the horse again.
Yeah, and feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's not really just about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's because horses are amplifiers. So I have this huge, powerful being. And if I were to bring fear to that relationship, I will be amplifying fear. And it's just like anything. If I were to bring fear to my marriage or fear or anger, like it's going to get amplified. So it's being in that situation and working on my fear, like working on letting go. And we've talked about that in this series. Like that's what it's all about, is being comfortable where I am, being, a little bit nervous, recognizing it and really analyzing it and getting rid of it so I can be the powerful being that I am.
So amazing. Amanda, I'm curious about what are some of the things that you've had to, I'm sure there are some thoughts or beliefs that came up when it happened, when you fell. So what are some of those that you've had to dismantle in order to move from fear to love?
Blame, let go of blame. It wasn't the horse's fault that I didn't listen to the cues, right? So it's not the horse's fault that I fell off. It is 100%. So it's taking 100% responsibility. It's that. There is knowing that this happened for a reason, and it is for my highest and best. So no matter what my life circumstances are right now, even though I don't know what it is, it's working out exactly how it's supposed to be. So I had to let go of victim, take responsibility. I'm also uncovering a whole nother layer of fear about being powerful. I didn't know that was there. Like, having that much power in him and in me and our union together, it's huge. So,
and to be sitting on top of it, right?
Yeah. Sitting on top of of power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And directing that power and being comfortable with it and not, in guiding it. Right. So not just sitting on it and letting go of direction, but sitting on it and then having a relationship about how we're going to manifest this power in the world.
What a metaphor for this whole program.
It is. Yeah. And all I had to do was break my arm.
Thank you very much.
Listen, that's a pretty gentle forgiveness lesson, compared to what it could have been.
It really could have. It is. And that's what I'm embracing more. And that's part of it. It's like, I'm working on, forgiving myself for not paying attention to the little cues and not doing this a different way. Right. It's lunacy to hold on to blame.
Yeah. Yes. That. I'm glad you said that. It's a good segue for kind of what I was thinking, for living like you mean it, what that means. The Abraham Hicks talks a lot about kind of focusing our attention, aligning our energy with what we would like, even if it doesn't exactly match what is currently happening in our life. So focusing on what we would like, trusting it's on the way, rather than focusing on what seems wrong in your life or what seems lacking. It goes back to that gratitude that you talked about, Melissa. Well, I don't think I've ever brought that down into like this path of awakening that we're on. It's the same thing. Like focus on the truth that we would like to embody, focus on the awakening that we would like to experience. I know it's not an experience, it's more of an awareness, but rather than focusing on all the things I did wrong today, all the ways I missed those forgiveness opportunities, went into judgment, went into complaining. That's what A Course in Miracles would call false humility. And that's a way that we self-sabotage and hold ourselves back. At least it's the way that I do it. And yeah, so I think that's a kind of a new light bulb moment for me. I'm going to start applying that Abraham Hicks principle, not just in my physical and material experience, but in my spiritual experience as well.
Morgan, I thank you for bringing that up, because that is, for me, that's like part of human nature. Focus on what needs to be fixed instead of all the things that are going right. I'm glad you articulated that.
Penny or Drusilla?
Well, I've noticed a shift in myself this year. I'm in a new training class, and it's a year-long training class. And I decided I'm just going to fricking go for it this year. And I'm not going to be afraid to raise my hand, to talk, to volunteer. And yesterday I volunteered to be the person who she did the process with. And it was really powerful. And it peeled back another layer of hurt that could get in my way of living in my power. And so that was powerful. It's so hard not to use that word. Mm-hmm. It was transformational. Maybe that's what it is. And I haven't done any journaling on it. And so that's one thing that I want to do, is to really journal about that experience. I can go back and listen once it's posted as well in our community, and just pay attention to how I was, because there was a moment where I thought to myself during the process, this is a little vulnerable. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now. And then I went, fuck, Penny, just do it. So, just the lessons last week is we shouldn't be so concerned about what other people think about us. Well, we shouldn't be concerned at all about what other people think about us, because it's not probably, unless it's loving stuff, it's not true. So, so I was able to get myself, I started going into my head and left my heart. And so I was able to get myself, with the help of the coach, to get myself back to my heart. And that's where I stand in my power, is there, I believe. So yeah, I'm just deciding to go for it. And I mean, okay, I'm not going all out, but I'm going much further out than I was before. And it's a process. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and go all out. I don't know.
Do you think that when Amanda said the word powerful, like being powerful, did that trigger anybody? Was that like a yeah, but, or like only to 99%, not 100%, or to like for me, it did. I'm wondering if anyone else got like, because the word powerful is big and out there and vulnerable. And I would say if I'm not living that way, then I'm always like, what are they going to say? What's the outcome of that? So it brings up a lot for me to be powerful.
Mm-hmm. That goes back to that Marianne Williams quote that we reference all the time. So I didn't have a visceral experience to it when she said it, but yes, on some level, we're all afraid of our power.
Yeah.
Morgan, say the quote again.
Oh, I have to look it up, but I will do that right now.
I would say for me, it just felt kind of neutral, kind of blah. I felt like it should have felt more powerful for me, but it didn't. And I don't know why. I don't know that. I think there's a part of me that feels powerful, but there's a part of me that doesn't feel like I'm living the most powerful life I can. Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
I get that.
Yeah. I get that.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, I found the quote. I always mix up her name. It's Williamson. I go back and forth between calling her Marianne Williams and Marianne Williamson. Anyway, the quote is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us.
Amazing.
It's good every time.
That.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
it
what we're
is.
talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So the question for me is, what would it take for me to know that I am living my most powerful life?
Mm.
Or is
And your
the life
answer?
I'm living, is it enough? Am I just thinking that it's not enough? And when I know that the Course teaches us that, your power is not in the big major things that you do, is in, how you show up. Are you showing up in light and love? I do feel that, but I do on some level still feel like maybe I'm saying no to not necessarily to any one thing that's coming up being presented to me, but am I think kind of like what Morgan described earlier, am I putting all of my teachings into a little safety box somewhere and staying secluded so that I can stay safe? Or am I living the principles out loud and so loud that I am having the impact that I want to have in the world? Is the question that came up for me.
Yeah.
I have a coach that I used to have. Her name is Crystal Andrus Morissette. And her tagline, she used to say, what would courage have me do? And I used that for a long time, like just little bits of courage. You don't have to go do the whole thing today, but just today, what would courage have me do? And we've talked about this as well. Like courage is just that step into the higher vibrations. And again, just little steps, like little steps towards being the powerful person, or one little power move. You don't have to do all of it.
Melissa, so of course I have horse on my mind right now.
So for me,
of course, a horse.
Mr. Ed.
So for me, that little step of courage is walking beside my power, right? So I'm power adjacent now that I, am stepping into this new realm, is like grabbing the lead rope of a powerful being and not being fearful. Because when he gets up and excited, he stands tall and he is so much bigger than me. And his power is directed all kinds of way, and I can just feel it. So like for me, that little step right now is just walking beside the power and learning just to be near it without being afraid of it. That's where I am right now. That's my one little step of courage.
I love it.
I do too.
So I like this second question. How do you honor the fact that you're both a work in progress and already powerful?
I think it goes back to what I just said, right?
I kind of do too, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think that's it. Like, I'm leveling up. I'm going to the next evolution of how I control myself and my life and my being. And so I honor it by just realizing where I am. Right now, I have to be comfortable with this next level. I have to be comfortable with that. And that means just walking beside it instead of jumping on it.
Yeah. I think it also goes to like any one of us could be a skilled seamstress if we applied ourselves to learning the skills to become a seamstress. it's teachable. Well, any one of us could, exercise that it talks about. We have the power to move mountains. We hear about the spiritual mystics who can bend time and travel across space in the blink of an eye, and bend the laws of physics because they have found the power to transcend those. Jesus Christ in the body, like laying the body aside and then creating a new body and rising from the dead. Like these are all things that we have the power to do. And we all could learn them, just like we all could learn to become a seamstress if we just developed that, harness that, put ourselves towards learning that. I don't think that's our goal here, but I think it is for us to not shrink away from our power. I think we don't like to think of ourselves as that powerful. It goes back to the Marianne Williamson quote. But so I think what we do is we honor that we're having a human experience. We stay teachable like a child and open to growing, when and where we can. At the same time, remembering that our worthiness is never in question. And all of that power is always available to us when we're ready to accept it, when we're ready to, cash in our inheritance. We don't have to earn it. It's just there waiting for us. I mean, you wouldn't give a 3-year-old a multi-million-dollar trust until they were ready to receive it, but it's ready for them whenever they are,
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point, Morgan. It is a really good point. Yeah.
I think too, we all have a calling, or we all get called, like maybe not one calling, but we all get called to step up, like step up and make a difference, or step up and influence someone, or step up and write the book we thought we wanted to write, or go on the journey, or, like I'm talking for everyone, but maybe just for me then. I have heard those voices. I've heard those callings, and I have let the old stories go, no, I'm not ready. Or, oh no, that's for someone else, not for me. That'll never work for me, but that'll work for someone else. And I think it is about not letting those little voices win, that ego win, and to keep showing up with the calling and taking those little courageous steps towards what's next, towards that calling. And I think it's not even in the end game of what the calling delivers at the end. It's about the courage that it takes to step into it, where the joy is and where the power is and the triumph, the personal triumph is.
That's well said, Melissa. And to build on that, I think for me, I've recognized that I have created so much busyness in my life that I have like blocked off the ability to really hear the messages that are coming to me. I mean, I hear them, but then I shrug them off like I'm a pitcher, in the World Series, and the catcher gives me a sign and I go, no, I don't want to do that one. Shrug it off. And so my work this year is to continue to take stuff off my plate and to stop seeing, but it's so hard because sometimes I want to do everything. I mean, I have all these interests, but I'm really recognizing that I need to, just like when our kids were younger, they had to decide which sport they were going to be in. If you really, truly wanted to be good, you had to decide which one you were going to focus on. And so I think I just have to slow down and just focus on taking care of Penny right now versus all the other stuff. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that as I've made some commitments that I can't let go of. And they've been really good commitments that have really helped me grow in my personal awakening. And sometimes it's too much, so that I can just, there is the reason why there was the 7th day for rest is for a reason. to really integrate what has just occurred the last 6 days. And I don't do that enough. And so I'm not sure if I'm on topic right now or not, but it's just, to be powerful, I need to take care of Penny and to really live in my power. So self-care is pretty important for me right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's a good point, though, because power in this spiritual sense is kind of different from how the world views power. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of what you're hitting on a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty powerful to put yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so often we've heard, you have to put everybody else first, or that's what I thought. Yes. I've thought that I have to put everybody else first, and then I can add my name to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had that same thing because I felt like I had to earn it. Like I had to make sure everyone else was ahead of me, taken care of wise.
Yeah.
That's the old story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, I'm, as I assess this right now, I'm thinking of what makes me feel powerful is not having the fear and the old beliefs lingering in my mind. And, every time something comes up, I've had a few examples that I could say I felt much more powerful than I could have ever felt in my past when these situations arose, right? Like there was an accident on this past Sunday. I was driving to my mother's house, and this is the first time this has ever happened to me, but there was a car that was trying to get over, and I guess he didn't see the other car in the lane, and they tried to self-correct and ended up hitting the cement wall in the middle of the road and flipped over right in front of me on the highway. So I had to, and it happened, it wasn't fast, even though we were on the major expressway, 6 lanes of traffic. To me, it seemed like time kind of stopped and slowed down so I could assess what was happening in time so that I would stop. And I was on the phone with my cousin, and I'm like, okay, a car just had an accident in front of me. I'm going to have to call you back. And so it was just like this thing. And I know that had that been years ago, I would have been so freaked out. I actually pulled over. All traffic stopped by that point. And so there were people getting out of the car to go over and try to help them. And I did actually get out of the car, but it was so many people there. I thought, okay, it's taken care of. And I got in my car, and then I drove the other 2 hours to my mom's. And everybody kept saying, oh my God, I don't think I would have, continued all the way up here then. But I didn't feel the fear that I know I would have felt in the past. And I feel like there's been so many situations like that in the last couple of years that I know that the growth and feeling powerful as opposed to powerless is with certainty. It's just not, maybe, like I said, intellectually, I don't feel as powerful as maybe the world's interpretation of power.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad, Drusilla, you're okay. And I think that you were being protected.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like these last couple of shares are a perfect tie-in to the question about practices that help you step into your becoming when fear or perfectionism or any other ego tricks try to hold you back. So I think we heard Drusilla and Penny speak to that. And if you have anything else to share, we'd love to hear it. But what about you, Melissa or Amanda? Any practices that work for you?
For me, journaling. I journal a lot and write a lot. Just the things that come into my head or observations I make. My journaling has changed a lot. It's not then he did that to me. And then I did that. And then he did that.
Dear diary.
Dear diary. Hold on. Here we go. It's not that anymore. It's definitely these like worldly observations or how I work, how I fit in the whole big picture. And that has helped me just clear out my mind, clear out all the spiraling thoughts that I've had in the past. And also write about my dreams for the future, the picture I see myself, the power I see for myself that is not yet here in the reality I see right now. So I would say that's it for me, the biggest tool for me.
For me, it is not buying into I did something wrong. So it's just allowing myself to be where I am. And Melissa, when you said just acknowledging, like looking around, that doesn't mean blame. It means, and taking responsibility doesn't mean blame either. It's just where I am right now. And being grateful, like you said at the very beginning, Melissa, is I have this opportunity to level up, to step up to the next iteration of myself while letting go of old patterns of thought, letting go of old comfort zones, and then being willing to step up, to take that one small courage. Like, so now I am standing next to my next, leveling up, power, being comfortable with it. Learning how to maneuver in it, learning how to guide this new level of power, learning how to, I don't think control is the word that I want, but it is working with, the ability to work with, to recognize, to acknowledge.
Kind of like becoming one with, right?
Becoming one with. Mm-hmm. Not taking for granted.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think one about you. Yeah.
I got a couple that came to mind. I think one is if we think about like a tennis player, you get better by playing with people who are better than you. And then your kind of give back is playing with people who are a little bit behind you. And that's the same with our spiritual journey. So I think one thing that supports me, a practice that supports me, is surrounding myself with people like you and people. We have an abundance and gratitude club, a similar makeup of really spiritual, powerful women. And I work in the Power of Love ministry and get to meet and work with other spiritually minded women. So I'm just constantly being surrounded by really spiritual women. They happen to all be women. Not saying that men can't have this too. But it really does bolster me. It really does. It's like going to the doctor for a B12 injection. Like it just gives me a little boost. If I'm having a dip or just not feeling totally aligned, it's a great way to bring me back into the truth. So surrounding myself with people who maybe in that moment are a little further ahead of me or are just holding that higher vibration. So that's one practice that supports me. The other is, it's similar to what Amanda said, maybe exactly what Amanda said, but it's just taking responsibility and coming back to these true principles and in an experiential way where I'm like, not just knowing they're intellectually true, but grounding them into the experience in the face of a trigger. So like if, for example, my husband or someone else is upsetting me, just remembering that there's nobody doing anything to me. There's only one. There's only me. Why am I doing this to myself? And when I can anchor that in and really know that it's true, it's my thoughts that are upsetting me. It's not this other person that doesn't really exist. There is no other. When I can ground these really kind of abstract thoughts into an upsetting situation and find my way back to peace in the midst of aggravation or chaos or whatever, that really feels powerful. That really feels powerful. So that's another practice that supports me.
I can really feel that.
Me too.
Yeah.
What about you, Penny or Drusilla? You kind of touched on it before I posed the question, but maybe something else has sparked for you.
Well, for me, my go-to and discerning where I'm losing power, where it feels like I'm losing power, is my reminder of judgment thoughts. Every single time, that can always level set me and get me back to being grounded. And which that I had to do that this week. I had to remind myself of why I may have been feeling some anxiety about certain things. And yeah, so I said, let's get back to, not having judgment thoughts, recognizing them. And it's not nearly as challenging as it was when I first learned about judgment thoughts from Jennifer Hadley. But it was just almost an instant awareness, right? That's pretty much the baseline for all that we teach and learn. Yeah, so it was just being aware of my thoughts again and staying present. And yeah, that tends to get me back into my power very quickly.
That's great, Drusilla. Yeah. One of the things that I practice more now than before is a lot of times when I don't know if it's stepping out of or just losing it, or it's triggered. When I get triggered back into those old tired patterns, those wounds inside of me, I am practicing pausing and just really asking myself, okay, what's really going on here now, Penny? Like, what are you feeling? And see if I can ask that wounded part of me, what are you feeling right now? And validating it, not trying to fix it, not trying to change it, and then asking myself, what do I need? It's a practice that I've learned from Catherine Woodward Thomas and her Calling in the One, Conscious Uncoupling, and Now What's True About You work that she does. But it's called the Self-Love Power Practice, and it's really about tapping into what's really going on, and then just validating it, not trying to fix it or change it. And that's that. And then I have a power statement that goes along with it. And I can get myself back into my loving heart. And I can look at the situation in a different way. The way that the loving, kind, compassionate way, that person who I really am. And I don't have to do it from my wounded, oh my God, they pissed me off one more time, thinking that I'm the victim so it's a way to take 100% responsibility for what's going on. So yeah, I've been practicing that more. I got really triggered on Sunday, and I was really triggered into my unworthiness. And I said, no, that's not true. I actually said that to myself in my mind. That's not true. Why would you think that, Penny? It's not true. And then I did the whole practice, and it really helped me. And so that's my most recent experience with it. But yeah. So just being loving and kind to myself is the key.
Yes.
Penny, that's a powerful practice. Is that actually true? Right?
Yeah.
Actually true. Asking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like last week I talked about, I have to tell myself, stop it. That's not my story. And now is it really true? No, it's not. So it doesn't take much to interrupt the patterns when I can remember.
Yeah.
Because I forget it also. But yeah. Anything else anybody wants to add?
I can't wait to hear your post-its, Penny. I saw you writing a couple times, so I know.
I know it's hard to hide it. Got to figure out how to do it down here. I don't know.
I love it. I'm like, she's writing a post-it.
Yeah. Well, the first one I have is show up without fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we stay in our power. Focus on what we want versus what we don't want. And then Morgan kept on with focus on waking up to the experience that I want in my life. That was really good. And then what would courage have me do right now? And then I also loved, we were talking about, around Marianne Williamson's poem or prayer, whatever you call it. But so just shine in your power, just shine. I think if we just shine, that's the key to, really capturing our power. So that's what I have for Post-its today. Sorry. So I just want to wrap it up and say thank you so much for joining us on this Claiming Our Power series. We really appreciate you tuning in. And as you head back into your world, remember, becoming is not a finish line. There's no place to get to, actually. It's just this life is a beautiful, wild adventure. And we get to live it every single moment and every single day. And we get to choose the outcomes that we are having come into our existence. And so give yourself some grace, keep showing up, and don't wait to be perfect. Oh my gosh, how many times have I stopped myself? I think I can speak for all of us Lemonettes that we've stopped ourselves because we didn't think we didn't have enough, but we have plenty. We have more than enough. Let your power shine through. It's going to be messy, and that's okay. Just give yourself some grace. And so keep walking the path, keep shining the love, and just keep showing up for yourself and for others. And add some laughter in there too, because that's when it's really going to be the most fun, right? So, so until next time, just keep living like you mean it. Okay? That's a command. And remember, your transformation is our greatest joy. Until next time, have a really beautiful rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.